Okay.
So Bob, how's social media changed how your approach to telling people what they need to use social media in sales and how it's all kind of tying together? How's that changed?
Well, boy, it's really accelerated the process. One of the things that we use in coaching, in particular in our curriculum, is networking. And the big thing about that is the online offline, what I call online offline networking. In my opinion, 70% of your networking should be done in person. Now, how effective that is, that's another issue that we could talk about at a separate time, but it's about 30% then online, because it's this face-to-face. It's this kind of thing that you really start to establish a relationship. You watch body language, we know that over 80% of communication is through body language. You see how people react to that. But also, it's just, there's a bonding, there's affinity points that you start to have with people, the smile and the eyes and everything else. And so that's important, because if you really establish a trusted relationship there, it makes it a lot easier to accelerate that when you're online. I've had many instances of that happening where the person has come to me that might have been in transition, and they say, hey Bob, I see you know Tom, and Tom knows Judd. I've been trying to get to Judd for 4 weeks. Can you help me with an introduction? Absolutely. If I know that person, in this case I did, Frank, I wrote a personal note on that he wrote why he wanted to meet Judd. I passed it on to Tom. Tom put on a really great note onto that and sent it on to Judd. And within 24 hours, there was a conversation between Frank and Judd, and within 48 hours, Frank was sitting in front of Judd in an interview. And here he'd been trying for 4 weeks. So the power of that is just incredible, but a lot of people don't understand these nodes. You know, the average person walking in the United States today, has been validated, knows 250 people. People in business know even more people than that. So it's about the people that people know. It's not about maybe that person. But you're never going to get into that Rolodex. You're never going to get into their database if you don't establish some kind of trust. I'm not an open networker on my LinkedIn. I consider that to be my reputation. I've spent 40 years building that. And one of the things I covet it. And so if somebody sends me LinkedIn's, and I get them all the time, and they use the standard line in there, that's a red flag right away. They haven't even, especially if they've met me and they haven't got the time to just write a sentence and say, hey, Bob, we met at such and such. I'd really like for you to be LinkedIn. But I also make it a habit or practice that I need to meet them, or I need to have some kind of a conversation with them to get comfortable enough to say, well, okay, maybe I can help here with my close-in network. And I think most people would probably agree with that. They're not going to just open up the Rolodex right away, particularly with very trusted relationships. And because, for somebody you barely know or an acquaintance, and they come in, they start messing that up. Boy, I'll tell you, not only are they messing it up for themselves, but they're messing it up for you. So I believe that the social media part of it, whether it be Facebook or Twitter or Twitter, or LinkedIn, particularly LinkedIn, because it's so strong. I heard the quote the other day, over 200 million now business people in that, and captains of industry. The other thing is a misconception about LinkedIn, particularly. One guy, I was shocked in horror. He said, "Yeah, that's for losers. That's for people in transition." I looked at the guy and I said, "Are you serious? There's 200 million people in this thing. You got to be kidding me!" And then I shared with him. Next week he was up on LinkedIn, and then he had some caricature of himself. And I said, "Dude, you got to get your picture in there." Unfortunately, it's probably the wrong thing to say because he looked like a convict, But he got his picture. He's getting in the process of getting a professional picture done. I said, go back to the caricature for right now until you get a good picture. But it was kind of funny, and he got it. The bulb went off because he started to realize as he started investigating, and his colleagues and other people that are in it, it's the opposite of that. It's for winners. It's people who understand this and how to do that. But again, it's just me, in my opinion, and what I coach and teach on is that you really have to treat that as a reputation, because it's an extension of who you are. And just, going a mile wide and millimeter thick doesn't really mean, in my business, it doesn't. Now, I know recruiters take a different view of that, and that's great, because they have to. It's just kind of the way that I operate, in making people understand that this is really important, and knowing people is really important, and the best way to do that's offline. To really get to know them, hang out with them, be in their environment, see how they react. Also, if you're going to start doing business with that person, understanding who's around them. You're often judged by the company you keep. So I keep great company. I got fabulous people in my life. But at the same time, I don't want to destroy that or have anything happen to that isn't necessary. So I hope that helps.